Today we are talking about these blushes. They are the newest collection from Flower Nose. It's their, I believe it's their Shell Pearl collection that they just released, which is all relevant to, of course, shells and pearls and the ocean, all that stuff. And you know, the case look like a shell, and it has all this Patrick on it. I don't know what do you call this in English. The only reference I have is I know this is the animal from SpongeBob and his name is Patrick. So yeah, I'm just gonna refer this as Patrick. They have like a couple of Patricks on their packaging, and every case has a different color, and they in total have 5 different shades. So what this formula is different than their previous formula is that they have more of a satiny finish, where their previous collections blushes are all matte. That's the one reason I got this. Another reason is they finally released some deeper shades. Well, I feel like I shouldn't call this deeper shades, but I feel like for Flower Nose, that's already the deeper shades. Like this one, I don't think they have had something this vibrant in their previous blush collection, like the powder blushes. They might have some like a creams that's like a little bit on the deeper side, but if we just talk about powder, I think this is the deepest we get so far. And for this collection, this is the only thing I was interested into, so I got all of the shades and none of the other products. And today we're purely gonna talk about this collection, every single shade, the swatches, not only on my hands but also on my cheeks. I am wearing one shade right now, and of course also my thoughts about the formulation. I think I want to proceed this first talking about the formulation and how I think, and then we're gonna dive into each individual shades. So for the formulation, when you swatch it, you are gonna see it has this very visible satiny finish. And if you just look at the pan, you can also see that. Let me grab another matte one from their previous collection. For example, this one, I think this is from their midsummer collection, and you can see it's a visible difference. And they used to always have this like fully matte formulation, no sheen or shine whatsoever. So that's why I was so interested. And even in the swatch, you can see there is like a skin-like, slightly satiny finish. But I feel like on my face, you know, as I said, I already applied this on my face. I feel like it's less visible. If you are already wearing a more shiny foundation, not shiny, like dewy foundation, I feel like this is might be low-key mattifying for you. They won't add more shine or sheen to your face. And I am wearing a fully matte face today, and this is what I get, okay? So just don't expect too much of the shine here. It's really just satiny, like the tiniest amount of glow it can give you. I think this is probably the amount of glow that a satiny matte foundation can give you, right? So if you are someone you don't really like fully matte blushes, but at the same time you also don't really want like a very shimmery one, and you don't really like to use creams and liquids, because I feel like powder blush is always the easier choice. Just my opinion though. So to be honest, this was less shiny than I thought it would be. I thought it would have a little bit more shine, But at the same time, I do appreciate that it's not one of those type of like metallic highlighter type of blushes, because a lot of times those blushes are just highlighter formulas giving a little bit of blush color. You know what I mean, right? So this is not that at all. This is just your normal blush but having a little bit of a skin finish. So that's the expectation here. Another thing is I feel like this collection overall is leaning on the cooler side, regardless how it looks in the pan. This is probably the warmest color. Like this is only the nude color here. The other ones are all like pinkish. But I feel like you can see on my face is like looking kind of pink or red in a way. It's not like the warm nude here. You wouldn't get that on your face. And I believe this is the more or the most popular shades among this whole range, at least in the Chinese beauty community. I don't know about situations outside of China, but this is the one that is selling out on a lot of stores in China, and it's the number 04. And this also is my personal favorite, because I just feel like even though it looks kind of warm in the pan, but on the face it's like a neutral pinky-ish, peachy nude type-ish thing, right? It's very easy to use. But the other colors, I overall feel like they are all either already you can tell it's on the cooler side just from the pan, and they can show up even a little bit more cool on your face, or it looks like it's a very like reddish vibrant shade, but in the end it do look like more of a cooler toned pink on your face. At least on me, I am a warm olive skin tone, so this can kind of sway my opinion on some of the products, because a lot of color look kind of cool toned against my super warm olive toned skin. Now let's talk about each individual shades. I'm gonna start just following their number, 01 and 02. Okay, 01 is this one in the gray or silver with a slightest hue of aqua type of color. This is a baby pink, like a pale baby pink color. It looks like that on the face as well, and I think this is a little bit too pale for me. I think I'm better to use this to mix with other deeper shades or put down as a base layer with some deeper tones blended at the center type-ish thing. I don't think you can use this as your sole blush product if you are around my skin tone. I feel like today's weather and the lighting is showing my skin tone pretty accurately. Maybe also it's because I am wearing like a super white shirt, so against it I think I look more close to my real skin tone. So yeah, giving that reference, I think you can tell that it's gonna be a little bit lighter for me, but I don't hate this shade. And also I feel like this shade, maybe because it's pale, it doesn't look like it's very satiny. Like it almost like it's almost matte. I feel like I especially cannot tell there's any even in the slightest of a shine added to my face when I use this one. Not my favorite, but not bad either. I think it's just what your skin tone and your preference is for the blush. And let's go with 02, which is a lavender one. Actually, I will show you the footage later, but comparing this one with the previous one, you're gonna think they are very different colors, right? But they are actually not. On my face, maybe again because they are a little bit too light for me, they look almost the same on my skin. So if you are around my skin tone and you're considering these two shades, just get one. okay, just get one. I don't think you need two. Actually, if you don't know how to use this type shade, I suggest you to buy none of these two. This is, again, like I said, more of a layering blush for my skin tone, or blending type of blush. Or also I can use this under my eyes. The powder formulation is very fine and easy to blend, so I don't think it's gonna be an issue under my eye. Maybe I can try right now. Let's try, why not? And I have this little puff that they give me as a gift for the order, and you can just use this little puff to apply. I feel like it's for sure is brightening, but in person it does look a little bit purple. So I feel like I do need like a similar toned shade of blush to blend with it. Today's blush is not at the same color family with this blush, so it does look like it's kind of floating here like a chunk of purple. But I think if it's like cooler toned blush follow with it, it's gonna look fine. And I'm gonna try with the lightly pink one. And yeah, this one I personally feel like is way better. I don't know how it's looking on the camera, but yeah, in real life, this pinky one blends better with this one, and it's not like floating on my face as much. So I actually do feel like applying with a puff is better than blush, because this collection as a whole is not very pigmented. It's on the sheer side of a blush. So that's the first two. Just pick one for you preference if you want one of that sort. They are not that different on the face. I feel like right now you can even tell on the camera it doesn't look that much different. 3 and 4, right? These two I'm gonna show you one by one, but there also would be a comparison in the end of both of the footage. I was wrong. This is not 03 and 04. This is 03 and 05, but these two are more similar, so I grouped them and compared them together. This deeper one is 05 and this lighter one is 03. And now I'm gonna show you the separate footage as I talk about these. So the shade 03 is like a warmer, deeper, peachy type of color. So I fully thought they would show as a peachy color on my face, but in the end it actually didn't. I think it looked more pink than peachy or like a coral shade as it looked in the pan. So that's why I say I think these are all leaning on the cooler side, which I don't know how I feel about, because I have nothing against cooler blush, but the thing is 4 out of the 5 shades here I feel like are more cool toned. I just feel like it lacks some diversity here, even though they look like they have diversity in the pan. But this color, I feel like it's just like a mid-tone pink on me. And I also do feel like this one doesn't give me that much of a sheen as much as this one gives me. I feel like you can always tell in the pan, right? Like this one look way shinier than this one. I don't know why that is. Maybe different color emphasize the shine in a different level. I don't know. But yeah, this one is a mid-toned pink for me. And this one, the color 05, it also doesn't look that different than 03 on my face at least. So I think if you have a paler skin tone, you might be able to tell the difference between this a little bit more. But if you are around my skin tone and you are not someone that packs your blush on, so that is like in its full pigmentation, I don't think you are gonna, you know, get that much difference from these two shades either. I actually like these two shades, but I just feel like I'm indifferent about which one I use. I think out of the 5 shades I have, I probably just have like 3 shades. You know, it just feels like I only have 3 shades even though I have 5. And in the end, is this one I already kind of showed you, the number 04, the most popular one. And I do think this one is the easiest to use. And actually in person, this one look so nudie, even dirt-ish type of color. It looks very beige, so it doesn't make sense why it look kind of red on the skin. But it does look pretty nice against my warm olive skin, at least that's how I felt. So I think if you do have warm skin and you prefer to have a warmer blush, I think this might be your only choice in this whole collection, because like I said, all of the other shades are kind of cooler toned, at least against my super warm skin tone. But in the end, I do feel like there's no big problem for this collection because the formulation is actually great. They are easy to blend. I don't see any patchiness, right? And if you use a puff, you can get it more pigmented. So I don't think I have anything to complain about the actual formulation. Other than it was a slightly, weaker of a sheen than I thought it would be. But again, they don't mean like to be super shiny from the beginning. They just mean to have a satiny finish. So that's probably to be expected. It's just a matter of the color choice. I don't know if there is the level of diversity you think it is. I think it's actually not that diverse. It just goes a little bit deeper than their previous powder blushes. That's my opinion. And if I would recommend some shades, my recommendation of course is gonna be the color 04, the nude one, and maybe one of the deeper one. I feel like it's because you just rarely can get some color this deep from Flower Nose. If you want to try and you haven't found a shade that's suitable for you, all of them are too pale. I think these two are, could be your choice. The color 01 and 02, I feel like even though they are pretty shades, but you can find them anywhere, literally anywhere. So I don't think there is a need to buy this in this collection unless you just want this collection. Okay, that's my thought, and this is probably more of a shorter video, but I don't want to extend this video for too long because I already give you all of the information I can. And I think that's it. I have a lot of other blushes to show you in the future, so stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.